This is a complete work of fiction. Content described has no relation whatsoever to any real persons, organizations, nations, or events.
The Madonna in the Mirror. The same day. Mar-a-Lago, Florida. A dead silent study. Vice President JD Vance stood before Melania Trump. He began speaking in a low voice to her as she remained silent in front of the mirror. Madam, Donald tacitly approved the war to divert attention away from the Epstein Files, but he failed. Hormuz is closed, and we are heading toward a crushing defeat in the midterm elections. What we need now is the staging of benevolent forgiveness. We will release the files. When we do, we need you to issue a statement. Vance placed down a draft. There is a 24-year age gap between my husband and me. It is an age difference like that of a parent and child. My husband loving children is the same pure form of love as his love for me. I have absolutely no intention of blaming him. Like this. Melania traced her fingers over the draft and gazed at herself in the mirror. Outside the window, surface-to-air missiles on high alert for Iranian retaliation glared at the night sky. A small news ticker was scrolling in the corner of the television. Japan's national reserves on the brink of depletion, moving to purchase oil from China, paying with U.S. treasuries. Melania smiled coldly. I shall play the part, if that is the price to maintain this castle of sand. Behind her, as she smiled into the mirror, the world was quietly crumbling away.
All right, so today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're diving into this short but incredibly dense piece of speculative fiction. And what it does is paint this really chilling picture of power, public performance, and, a world that's just on the brink of decay. It's like we're dropped into a snapshot of a single, crucial moment where absolutely everything is hanging in the balance.
So, where does our story open? Right here. And this isn't just any place, right? It's a symbol, Mar-a-Lago, Florida. We're talking about the very heart of a political dynasty, and it's presented with this almost cinematic starkness, like the opening shot of a movie. You can almost feel that heavy Florida air, the sense of history, and just this immense power all concentrated in one single location.
And then, right after the location, we get the time frame. The same day. The same day as what? We're not told. And that's exactly the point. It's such a classic storytelling trick, It just drops us right smack into the middle of a crisis that's already happening. It makes you wonder, what on earth could have happened to bring us to this incredibly precise, urgent moment? Okay, so now the story pulls us inside, into this quiet study, and it's here that some kind of silent deal is about to be brokered. This is where we meet our two central figures, and they are just locked in this moment that feels like it could change absolutely everything.
The power dynamic in this room is just fascinating. On one side, you've got Melania Trump totally silent, just staring at her own reflection. All the power, the decision-making, it all rests with her, right there in her silence. And then on the other side, you have Vice President JD Vance. He's the one who has to speak, the one who has to deliver this grave, kind of desperate message. I mean, can you just imagine the tension in that room? It must be electric.
So, you gotta ask, why is Vance even here? This is definitely not a social call. Nope. He's the bearer of really, really bad news. He's there to lay out this whole series of catastrophic failures that have completely cornered the administration. So what he's about to propose? It's not a new policy. It's basically a political Hail Mary.
And these failures, they're not separate events. They're presented like this unstoppable chain reaction, a domino effect. It all starts with the war, which was supposedly meant to be a distraction from the explosive Epstein file, but that has backfired spectacularly. We're told the Strait of Hormuz is closed. I mean, that's an economic and geopolitical disaster right there. And this huge, costly miscalculation is now leading directly to what looks like a massive defeat in the upcoming midterms. It's like each crisis is just igniting the next one.
At this point, they're completely out of moves. All the normal political levers you'd pull, broken. There are no new policies to announce, no big rallies to hold. The only option left on the table is to just abandon politics altogether and turn to public theater. The solution isn't about governing anymore, not even close. It's about putting on a performance.
And the performance that Vance is proposing, wow, it's incredibly specific and just deeply, deeply cynical. This is the moment where the strategy to basically manipulate the entire public narrative really takes shape. And it tells you so much about how power tries to protect itself when its back is against the wall.
So the strategy actually has a name: forgiveness through compassion. And the idea is pretty wild. You get the person who is most wronged by a scandal, in this case Melania, to publicly forgive the person at the very center of it. It's a brilliant and frankly chilling tool for narrative control. Think about it. If she forgives him, who is anyone else to judge? It's designed to just completely neutralize the attack. And get this is the actual script they want her to read. Just listen to these words for a second. When you think about the context here, the Epstein Files, this line is designed to reframe truly unspeakable acts as some kind of pure love. It's meant to disarm the public with its sheer, shocking audacity. It's a huge gamble, right? They're betting that people will just be too stunned to even know how to react.
So just as we're trying to process the sheer cynicism of this whole plan, the author does something brilliant. They pull the camera back. They remind us that this quiet, tense room, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. Outside the walls of Mar-a-Lago, the world is literally coming apart at the seams.
And this contrast, this is really the heart of the story. Inside, you have this intensely private political drama about saving a single reputation. But outside, surface-to-air missiles are scanning the skies, getting ready for a retaliatory strike from Iran. And that strike is a direct consequence of the very war that was supposed to be a distraction in the first place. The personal and the geopolitical are on a collision course.
And, as if the military threat wasn't enough, we get this little detail from a news ticker. Japan, a key U.S. ally, is running out of energy reserves. So who do they turn to? Not America. They turn to China. And the payment method? They're paying with U.S. bonds. I mean, that single line signifies a potential collapse of American economic and geopolitical power. The entire world order is shifting, right there, in real time.
Okay, so now we're pulled back into that quiet study for the climax. Melania has heard the plan, she sees the decaying world outside her window, and now, against this backdrop of total chaos, she finally makes her decision. The fate of this whole administration, it feels like, rests on what she says next.
And here it is. Her answer, delivered with what's described as a cold smile. I will perform. She agrees. She'll play the part. But it's the second part of that line that's just so devastating. If that is the price to maintain this castle of sand. Wow. She has zero illusions about this. She knows that the power, the wealth, the whole entire structure is fragile, that it's built on nothing. But she's willing to pay the price of her own dignity, to keep that sandcastle standing just a little bit longer.
Which of course leaves us with this final, really haunting question. In a world where global alliances are fracturing, economies are failing, and war is looming on the horizon, does this one, deeply cynical performance even matter? Can a carefully crafted illusion actually hold back the tide of reality? This short piece, it doesn't give us an answer. It just leaves us to wonder if maybe the whole world isn't just another castle of sand.